thing that Spirit brought up is something that we've talked about on the last call, and the entity that came forward was the Time Guardian. And Spirit acknowledges that time is contracting and expanding and folding in on itself in ways that our human selves have never experienced before. And Spirit said that, these are real insights that we're having about time. This is not our imagination. And that time is a living dimensional being whose powers include the ability to devote more time when we require it, to speed up and to slow it down when it might be necessary. And those of us who have worked with time might know what Spirit is talking about there, where suddenly, something that was supposed to take a half hour, it feels like you arrived in 5 minutes. Or vice versa, when you're running late and you needed another 10 minutes and you somehow arrived just on time, even though there's no way that that could have happened. When we begin traveling the threads of weave, we are moving into the past and future, and time is now available to work with us. And when we tune into it as a dimensional being or a dimensional reality, we begin opening to the timeless that is within us. And Spirit wants us to know that time traveling is our divine human inheritance, and that we can let go of trying to compartmentalize it or control it or to define it, and instead to celebrate how time changes in nature, as this leads to a richer, more joyful experience, and we no longer struggle to cram so much into our days. In fact, Spirit says that as we continue to open to the soul, time, we might have all the time in the world as we realize that there's no death, and yet time becomes even more precious because we only want to be spending it in the richness. And we don't want to spend it, moving so busily from thing to thing to thing. Spirit says this is an incorrect human mindset of how time works. We're always constrained by it and we're always watching it. And so that means we're always bound by it and we're always experiencing bondage with that being. That we can only access the powers of time in the present moment. So if we're in the past or in the future, we do not have access to it. And if we feel that we're being pushed for some time or being left behind, or that everything's moving forward so fast that we are no longer important or relevant, Spirit says that it's time to once again return to natural timekeeping, to greet the sunrise, to enjoy the sunset, to give ourselves a watch-free day or a watch-free life, and to understand that time from the solar and lunar positions is more about how we feel. And so once again, when we begin to experience time within natural law, within nature, we start to maintain an abundance of energy, and we are rejuvenated and uplifted, and we are in the true flow or the true weave, and we are no longer bound or constrained by the entity of time.